Hi everyone, I'm back again with my second video. Thanks for watching the first one, that was fun to make, and I thought I'd do something a little bit different today, and I would try making some waxed cotton food wraps. So I've got all the stuff I think pretty much ready in true Blue Peter style, so I'll just run through what you'll need. Some greaseproof paper, there, scissors, a grater, some beeswax, mind your own beeswax, a container. I've just used a cup, a biodegradable cup I might add, and I've grated a quantity of beeswax in there, and it's just gone to sort of like little pellets, little shreds and shards of the stuff that we're going to use on the fabric. And I've got myself some really cool fabric. Look at that, how good's that? B-movie monsters. And I've also got another B-movie, but with aliens and killer pumpkins and things like that on there. Zombies. Excellent. So we've got all our fabric sorted out. I've also got one that I made earlier, but I'm going to save that for later on, and I'll show you how I got on. So off we go. We're going to start making beeswax food wraps. So we've got a baking tray here with a layer of greaseproof paper on it, which I have already previously used. You can see some wax residue there that will melt again and be soaked into the material. So we'll lay our square on, which should be enough for wrapping a piece of cheese or small item of food, or maybe covering a bowl. You can also make round ones, but I've just stuck to squares for the purpose of today. So we're going to take our grated beeswax and we're just going to put it sprinkled over the surface. The oven is preheated to a moderate heat. I've gone about halfway on the heat side of things, and I don't think you need too much on here, because as it melts it will spread. So I think I've got a bit too much there. I've seen other videos of people doing this, and there's two methods. There seems to be the iron method, where you use 2 sheets of paper and then you have to peel it off really quick because you've melted it with an iron. I just thought that was a bit messy, and because I'm a lodger, this isn't my own kitchen, I don't want to make a mess. So I've used the oven method because I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to not have any mess left and be able to throw away any paper and bits and bobs that are left, and not ruin any equipment in the kitchen that doesn't belong to me. So I think we're getting there with, I don't think that's too much because it will spread out. The tester one that I did seemed quite well waxed, so we'll see how this one turns out. Maybe another little bit over there. And I'm sorry about the sniffing, but I've had this terrible cold that everybody seems to have had in turn. I haven't suffered really with this. We survive, don't we? Anyway, so this is going to go across into the oven now, and it takes about 2 to 3 minutes on a moderate oven, but obviously keep your eye on it. So here we go. So here's the one that I made earlier, and it was just like sort of a strip that I'd got left because of how I'd cut the squares off the other piece of fabric. It was a fat quarter that I'd bought, and I was going to make a bag with it, and I had all these plans, as you do when you're a sewer, and then you'd never have the time to do it. So I thought, what better use than to use it for something that's useful, like these food wraps. So you can see it's quite, you hear that? It's quite stiff, so that's quite well waxed. But I thought maybe wrap something small up in the fridge. And how they work is that when you wrap it round, the heat of your hands that one. You can see it's creased, so they're really easily foldable. And I suppose you could keep all sorts of fresh foods in there and refrigerate them. Okay, so it's melted. It's come out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. It looks quite oily, and you can see the wax dripping down. Just show you quite closely and change the angle so you can see. And it's hot at the moment, so you need to peel it off the paper before it starts really solidifying, because as it cools it will stiffen, and there is quite a lot of residue on the paper left, so that might just wax another piece of fabric without me having to add many gratings. So here we are, it's coming out, it's dripping, so I'm keeping it over the paper so I don't make a mess. I can start it feeling to cool. Yeah, and it's stiffening up. You can see that there, hopefully. It's still got a bit of bend in it, but that's stiffening up as the wax is going back to its solid state. It doesn't take long. And these drips on the edge, you can just trim them off with scissors, and also any loose threads can be trimmed off as well. If you want to make it look pretty, I suppose you could do it with pinking shears, but the wax itself will stop the fabric from fraying. That's cooled off. Next one in. And so the process goes on. So I'm going to aim to make quite a few of these. As I said, you can make circular ones to cover any bowls or pans that you want to keep refrigerated, or just to keep flies off in the summer. They'd be great for that. Cover drinks in the garden, your glass of wine or Prosecco, to stop any insects landing in it. Okay, so I've made a sandwich, and let's try this wrap. Just folding it round, and I'm told the heat of your hands is usually enough to make it, and you can also crease it into a parcel. It's a bit like wrapping a present. So just holding it with my hands for a while. Alright, it pops open a little bit, but I suppose if you were to put some string around it or something like that, or you just put it in your bag or into a box, that would be fine. So there's my sandwich. And then it'll flatten back out, and you can obviously use that as a surface instead of a plate to eat from. Pretty nifty, eh? So here you can see the difference between the waxed fabric and the original. So the colours have gone darker, so bear that in mind if you're looking at something more colourful, or it's a pattern that you want to really stand out or whatever. And also look at the stiffness of the fabric compared to the original. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I will see you again soon. Bye!